right now. The brutal realities of life. Most people fall into a massive trap. They think that ancient Stoicism and history's most rebellious philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche, are mortal enemies. They believe one represents passive surrender, while the other wants to shatter the world with a hammer. But today we tear down these superficial masks. If you read between Nietzsche's fierce lines, you will discover a profound, hidden admiration for the unbreakable character and absolute strength of the Stoics. When it comes to awakening your raw inner power, when it comes to helping you get stronger, these two philosophies are actually two different paths climbing toward the exact same peak. In this video, we are completely abandoning the victim mentality. We are throwing away the whining, the self-pity, and the cheap excuses. We are going to forge the unshakable mental armor of the Stoics together with Nietzsche's ultimate concept of fate, Amor Fati. You will discover how to stop breaking under the blows of life and how to turn those very blows into your greatest weapon. If you are ready, let's begin rebuilding your mind with the most powerful alliance in philosophical history. To truly understand this alliance, we first need to look at why Nietzsche criticized Stoicism so fiercely. According to Nietzsche, the emotional discipline that Stoics boast about isn't actual self-mastery, but rather a profound self-mutilation. He viewed Stoicism as a kind of philosophical Botox, a spiritual anesthesia that dulls life's expressions and kills its vitality just to escape from pain. In The Gay Science, Nietzsche illustrates this with a visceral and disturbing metaphor. The Stoic exercises himself in swallowing stones and worms, glass shards and scorpions, and not feeling any disgust. To Nietzsche, this philosophy that constantly seeks emotional safety turns a person into a tamed, caged animal. He didn't want to eliminate suffering and become numb. He wanted to dance with pain, chaos, and danger. However, there was something Nietzsche hated infinitely more than this philosophical Botox, something that truly disgusted him: weakness, the modern culture of constant complaining, and the sickness of playing the victim while crying that life is unfair. And it is precisely at this crossroads where Nietzsche stands in the exact same trench as the ancient Stoics. Let's turn back the pages of history to the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Born as a slave, subjected to physical torture and lifelong captivity, Epictetus famously stated, "A master can chain my body, he can make me a slave, but he can never, ever chain my will, my mind." This declaration is the absolute core of what Nietzsche would later call the will to power. Had Nietzsche heard these words, he would have stood up and applauded, because both philosophies whisper the same undeniable truth to your soul. What happens in the outside world, or what catastrophes befall you, is completely irrelevant. What matters is how unbroken, how upright, and how steel-hard you stand against the darkness inside. Neither philosophy promises comfort. Both praise a strength forged in the fires of adversity. The absolute zenith of Nietzsche's philosophy is the concept inextricably linked with his name: Amor Fati, the love of fate. What is Amor Fati? It is the radical refusal to wish for anything to be different, whether in the past, the future, or all eternity. It means embracing your greatest mistakes, your deepest betrayals, your losses, and your worst physical pains, and welcoming them with fierce enthusiasm. While popular culture markets this as a concept Nietzsche invented from scratch, the true architects of this mindset lived thousands of years before him: the Stoics. When we look into the personal journals of the great Stoic emperor, Marcus Aurelius, we find this monumental insight. With blazing fire, it makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. In authentic Stoicism, fate is not a depressing destiny to bow down to. It is a training ground to forge the soul. You cannot alter the bad cards life deals you. So, like a wise ruler, accept them and hurl them directly into your internal fire to make the flames grow higher. Nietzsche took this exact concept, infused it with his own rebellious passion, and polished it, but the core remained untouched. Stop weakening yourself by trying to run from your fate. Wear your fate like an emperor's armor, and use it to get stronger. Now, let us merge these two colossal philosophical forces within our minds and see what kind of weapon we obtain against the chaos of modern life. Stoicism teaches us to be an immovable rock in the middle of a violent, raging ocean. When the people around you lose their minds, when everything turns upside down, when your plans shatter and fail, the Stoic mind instantly draws a line. Stop wasting your energy worrying about things you cannot control. Focus solely and exclusively on your own character, your own mind, and your own responses. This stance is the most powerful, unshakable mental fortress you can build in our chaotic world. And this is exactly where Nietzsche enters that unshakable Stoic fortress, taking that stationary power and elevating it to a point of absolute offense. Nietzsche says, "Yes, you are that rock. You do not shake. But now, absorb the raw energy of the waves crashing against you and reshape the entire landscape through your own creative will." While Stoicism teaches you how not to break under the blows of the outside world, Nietzsche shows you what to build with that unbroken, unshakable raw power. Stoicism lays the most solid foundation possible, and upon that foundation, Nietzsche creates the Übermensch, the Overman. As we approach the end of this journey, it is time to give credit where is truly due and to stand in awe of Stoic wisdom. Against today's fragile, entitled culture, where people collapse at the slightest inconvenience and retreat into victimhood, genuine Stoicism is the ultimate antidote. It is not a dusty school of thought meant only for library shelves. It is the most majestic, noble form of self-sovereignty a human being can establish over their own mind, their own desires, and their own fears. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire the world had ever seen. He could have chosen a life of absolute luxury, indulgence, and ease. Instead, he chose to fight in the mud and freezing cold of the battlefront, writing philosophy by candlelight at night to discipline his own soul. Seneca, when facing death at the hands of a tyrannical emperor, never lost an ounce of his noble composure or dignity. Stoicism does not tell us to cowardly run away from pain. It commands us to stand directly in front of it with honor, upright, like an unshakable fortress. If you do not want to be crushed and erased by life's hardships, economic chaos, or personal failures, you must infuse your soul with that iron Stoic discipline. Because no matter how mad the outside world becomes, a person who rules their own mind holds the most absolute, unshakable power on this earth. To summarize, my friends, Friedrich Nietzsche and the ancient Stoics are shouting the exact same powerful truth across the centuries. Stop complaining, destroy your excuses, and get stronger. When you weaponize the unshakable piece of Stoicism as your armor, and greet every hardship with the passionate yes of Nietzsche's Amor Fati, there is no storm or catastrophe on this earth that can break you. Become the emperor of your own mind. If this resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments below if you felt that unshakable power wake up inside you today. Take care of yourselves, stay stoic, and stay strong.